months. And when was her first date? So 5.5. God, I hate it when I'm right. I mean, what is it about guys that makes them want to screw anything that walks, even when they're going out with someone as awesome as Allegra Cole?
I mean, she's only the single most fabulous thing walking around New York.
Thanks, young. Are you kidding? Of course I'm gonna run it. Why should she waste her heart on some Swedish aristo-brat? Even if he is gorgeous. Hey, if he's stupid enough to cheat, then the world should know he's dumb enough to get caught. Exactly. I'm in the elevator. I'll see you in a minute. Good morning. How are you?
Great, Sarah. What's your gossip?
Bitter, party of one.
Hey, you should try it sometime.
Barbados by myself? I wouldn't last 5 minutes.
It was just what the doctor ordered. I slept in, I did my yoga, I read a couple of books, I flirted with my scuba instructor.
And apparently never left the office.
I know, isn't that great?
You should have taken someone with you.
Who? Who am I going to take with me?
This is where a boyfriend comes in handy.
I don't have time for a boyfriend.
You said that 2 years ago.
Yes, and it's as true today as it was then.
Hey, I thought you were on vacation.
See if these are in focus, will ya? And have them at my desk in an hour?
Cool.
And besides, relationships are for people that are just waiting for something better to come along.
Spoken like a true cynic.
I'm not a cynic. I'm a realist.
You are a realist masquerading as a cynic who is secretly an optimist. What are you doing here? What is she doing here?
She works here, remember?
Oh, she doesn't. Not for another 4 days.
Well, this couldn't wait.
Oh, of course it could. What are you doing? Go back to the beach. I don't want you here.
Oh, no, really, you do.
You are becoming a sick workaholic lunatic, and this is exactly the kind of nervous, overwrought behavior that leads to
Pictures of Subby with a busty brunette.
a very, very big raise. Jesus, you could find dirt in a snowstorm.
Comes with the job.
You know, kiddo, there is more to life than watching other people live it.
Can I help? He was cheating on my beach.
Hey, I think that it's great that you're so good at your job. I'm just a little worried as to why.
Let me worry about that.
Okay. I want that column on my desk by lunch.
Does that mean you're going to pay for my hotel?
For you to sip Mai Tais? I don't think so. Get out.
Welcome to the vocabulary lesson for the Hitch 3 scene for the movie. Let's get started. In the beginning of this scene, there's a woman, and she starts by saying, "Did I call it or did I call it?" To call it, that's kind of an idiom. It means to predict something, to know something about the future. So she predicted something. She's talking about a relationship, two people dating, two famous people dating. And she guessed how long they would stay together. She called it, she predicted it, she guessed it. To guess something about the future, we say you call it. All right, to move on. And then a little bit later, she says the line, what is it about guys that makes them want to screw anything that moves? Okay, to screw is an idiom, kind of slang for sex, to have sex with. So she says, why do guys want to screw anything that walks? It means, why do guys want to have sex with anybody, with any woman? Okay, so screw means have sex with. It's slang. It's a little bit rude. Okay, and then she says, even when they're going out with someone as awesome as Allegra Cole. Going out with is also a kind of idiom. To go out with someone means to date them. So if you say, I'm going out with her, it means you're dating her. I'm going out with him, it means you're dating them. You're dating them seriously, going out with them. Okay, and then of course the word awesome means great, wonderful, fantastic. And in the next sentence you see the word fabulous, which has a similar meaning. Great, amazing, wonderful. Fabulous. So fabulous and awesome, they're similar. All right, and then we go a little bit farther down, and she uses the verb run in a different way than normal. She says, are you kidding? Of course I'm going to run it. Well, this woman is a writer. She's a journalist, a gossip writer. She writes about celebrities. And she says, I'm going to run it. It means I'm going to print it. I'm going to publish it. So sometimes magazines and journalists, they use the word run to mean print or publish. And that's what she means here. I'm going to run it. I'm going to publish it. And then she has a little bit of slang in the next line. She says, why should she's talking about the female character, Allegra Cole, this beautiful, rich person. Why should she waste her heart on some Swedish aristo-brat? So she's insulting the man who was cheating. And aristo-brat is a combination of two words. Aristo means aristocrat, and aristocrat is a rich person. So aristocrat is what that means. Aristo means aristocrat, a rich person. And then brat is a spoiled person, a person who, we use it with children actually a lot, who has no discipline, no control. They get everything they want. If they're angry, they yell and they scream. That's a brat. They don't behave well. So a brat is a person, usually a child, who does not behave well. An aristocrat is a rich person. So she's saying this guy is a rich guy who behaves badly. And she says, even if he is gorgeous, gorgeous means beautiful. Then she says, if he's stupid enough to cheat, the world should know he's dumb enough to get caught. To cheat, probably know the normal meaning of cheat, like cheating on a test. But cheating in a relationship means you have sex with someone else, someone who is not your partner. So if this guy, he had sex with someone who was not his girlfriend, he was cheating on, we should say cheating on his girlfriend. Okay, and then next she goes into her office, and one of the guys in the office is joking with her. He says, bitter, party of one. He's calling her bitter. He's pretending that's her name. The word bitter actually means someone who's very angry and sometimes also lonely. So he's kind of insulting her a little bit in a funny way, saying she's a lonely, angry person. And then he says, party of one. Party of one, party in this case means group, a group of people. So party of one means a group of people, but there's only one person in the group. And what he's doing, he's joking. He's pretending they're at a restaurant, because we say this phrase in a restaurant. You go into a restaurant, and the person might say, how many people in your group? And you say, oh, we have 5. And you say, oh, okay, a party of 5. Party of 5 means a group with 5 people in it. So maybe you go in, the person looks at you, they count the number with you, and they might ask you, oh, party of 6? And you would say, yes, we have 6 people. Okay, and then they talk about her vacation. He says, Barbados, by myself, I wouldn't last 5 minutes. So this woman was recently on vacation in Barbados. That's where she saw this famous guy who was cheating on his famous girlfriend, and she took pictures. So Barbados is just a tropical island in the Caribbean, I believe. Okay, and then she's talking about her vacation. She says, it was just what the doctor ordered. That's another kind of slang phrase, just what the doctor ordered. Just what the doctor ordered means exactly what I needed. Exactly what I needed. So if you say, wow, this drink is just what the doctor ordered, it means maybe you're very thirsty, so you really needed a drink. So it means just what the doctor ordered. Anything. It could be anything. And then she describes what she did on her vacation. She said, I read a couple books. I flirted with my scuba instructor. To flirt is to tease somebody. Usually you're interested in them. You're attracted to them. You think they're handsome or beautiful. And you tease them, you play with them, you chat with them because you are attracted to them. Maybe you want to date them. So maybe you joke, you laugh. You're trying to get them to like you. We call that flirting when it has kind of a little bit of a romantic feeling. And then her friend says, oh, and apparently you never left the office. Never left the office is another kind of idiom. And it means never stopped working. If you don't leave the office, it doesn't really mean you're stuck in your office. It just means you never stopped working. Okay? Even though she was on vacation on a tropical island, she was still doing her job. She never left the office. And then she says, yeah, that's great. And then he says, this is where a boyfriend comes in handy. Comes in handy means is useful. So if something comes in handy, it's useful. a boyfriend comes in handy on a vacation. It means it's good, it's useful to have a boyfriend. It's good, it's fun to have a boyfriend if you're on vacation. That's what he means. If you're building a house, a hammer comes in handy. A hammer will help you build the house. It's useful. All right, later down in the conversation, her boss comes in. He interrupts their conversation, and he says, "Spoken like a true cynic." A cynic is a person who is very negative and very pessimistic. They always think something bad will happen. They always think other people are kind of bad. They don't trust people. That's a cynic. A cynic is a person who's very negative, very pessimistic. And then the woman says, "No, I'm not a cynic. I'm a realist." A realist is a person who is very practical. We've had that word before. It means they see reality. They see the world exactly as it is. They are not fooled. They're not confused. So a realist is not a pessimist and they're not an optimist. They are kind of in the middle. They see things in a real way. So she says, "I'm not a cynic, I'm a realist." And then he has a long sentence. He says, "You are a realist masquerading as a cynic who is secretly an optimist." Masquerading as means pretending to be. You are a realist masquerading as a cynic means you're a realist pretending to be a cynic. You're not really a cynic. You're pretending to be. You're masquerading as a cynic. You're pretending to be. All right, and then down later in the conversation, her boss is kind of insulting her. He says, "You are becoming a sick, workaholic lunatic." Okay, a lunatic is a crazy person. Crazy person. Maybe they have to go to a hospital. A lunatic, a very crazy person. And a workaholic is a person who works too much. Maybe they're addicted to their job. They're addicted to work. They never stop working. They never relax. They're always working too much. We call that person a workaholic. And then he says, "And this is the kind of nervous, overwrought behavior." And he gets interrupted. But overwrought behavior. Overwrought behavior means too much. And usually means too much energy, too much nervousness. So he's saying you're working too much. You're too energetic, too crazy, too nervous. You need to relax. You need to slow down. Your behavior is overwrought. It's too strong. It's too nervous. It's too energetic. Overwrought. Okay, and then she interrupts him. She tells him what she did on the island. She says, "I got pictures of Sebi with a busty brunette." Now, Sebi is just a name of a character. It's the rich Swedish guy that she got a picture of on the beach. He's not a big character in the movie. You never see him. But anyway, it's just a name. Sebi is just a name. It's not a normal American name, in fact. So just ignore it. But then with a busty brunette. So she got a picture of this Swedish guy, famous Swedish guy, with a busty brunette. Brunette means a woman or a man with brown hair. Busty means means with large breasts is what it actually means. Busty, large breasts. So it's a brown-haired woman with large breasts, a busty brunette. And then her boss is very happy, and he says, "Oh, you will get a very big raise." A raise means, of course, more money. More money for your job, higher pay. And then he's surprised. He's very happy, and he's kind of joking. He says, "Jesus, you could find dirt in a snowstorm." Jesus, we sometimes say Jesus when we're surprised or angry or emotional. We just say, "Jesus." Or sometimes we say, "God," or "Wow." It doesn't really have a meaning here. It just means you're emotional. And you could find dirt in a snowstorm. So this is kind of a funny little sentence. Dirt has two meanings here. So he's telling a joke using two meanings of this word. Of course, you know the normal meaning of dirt, similar to dirty. But dirt is also slang for gossip. It means gossip, information about famous people, or personal information about someone, secret personal information. So he says you could find dirt in a snowstorm. So he's talking about in a snowstorm, it's very white, very clean. And if you find dirt, it means it's hard to do, right? It's hard to find dirt in a snowstorm if it's snowing. So what he's saying is you can find gossip anywhere. You can find gossip. You can find secret personal information anywhere. It's amazing. Okay. So he's complimenting her, actually, because she does a good job with her. Her job is to find gossip and write about it. Okay, they talk a little bit more, and then at the end he says, okay, I want that column on my desk by lunch. In this case, column means a newspaper article, a newspaper story. But it's a special kind of newspaper story. It's a newspaper story that appears again and again and again. So maybe every week, maybe every day, the same writer doing similar stories. We call that a column. So she writes a gossip column. Maybe every week, she writes some story about gossip. So he says, I want that column. It means I want that article on my desk by lunch. Put it on my desk so I can read it. And then finally she says, so will you pay for my hotel? Right? She was on vacation, but she did some work. So she wants her boss to pay the hotel bill. And she's kind of joking, and he laughs, and he says, no way. He asks, for you to sip Mai Tais? I don't think so. So he's saying a Mai Tai is a tropical drink. It's a cocktail. It's an alcoholic drink. And to sip, the verb to sip, means to drink very slowly. So he's saying, you were in your hotel on a beach, you were sipping, you were slowly drinking your tropical alcoholic drinks, you were relaxing, I'm not paying for that. So he's saying, no way, get out, means go home. I will not pay for your hotel because you were on vacation. All right, that is the end of the vocabulary for Hitch number 3. Listen to this a few times if you need to, just in a relaxed way, until you have a basic understanding of the vocabulary. Then go to the mini story. Okay, see you next time. Bye-bye. Okay, welcome to the mini story for the Hitch 3 lesson. Let's get started. Here's the story first. There is a cynic named Hurley. He does not believe in love. He hates dating and romance. He won't even flirt with girls or get a cell phone. Hurley's sister is overwrought, worrying about him. She says, Hurley, just try. You might meet a beautiful girl and fall in love. Hurley says, you are a lunatic. I'll never fall in love. Hurley's sister says, I predict you will fall in love. Then she gives Hurley a cell phone and says, this is for you. It will come in handy for dating. The next day, Hurley goes to a coffee shop. He sees a beautiful, busty blonde woman. She sees him too. She walks over to him and says, you are so cute. Can I have your phone number? Hurley is shocked, but he gives her his cell phone number. The next night, they go on a date and fall in love. Hurley's sister calls him after the date, and she asks, so, what's the dirt? Hurley says, well, you called it. I fell in love, and I'm happy. In fact, it's just what the doctor ordered. Okay, let's go back to the beginning, this time with questions. As usual, you can answer the questions quickly out loud, just shout them out quickly, or you can use your pause button if you need to think a little while and then answer the questions. Or you can relax and just listen to the questions and not worry too much about answering them. Up to you. Okay, here we go, up to the top. There is a cynic named Hurley. Is Hurley an optimist? Is he very positive? Well, no, Hurley is not positive. He's not. Hurley is a cynic. Is Hurley quite negative? Well, yes, that's exactly right. Hurley is a cynic. He's a very negative person. Is Hurley a cynic about everything? Well, no, he's not. He's not a cynic about everything. Is he a cynic about money? No, he's not a cynic about money. Is he a cynic about his family? No, he's not negative about his family. He's not pessimistic about his family. He's not a cynic about his family. What is he a cynic about? Well, he's a cynic about love. He does not believe in love, in romantic love, in dating. So he is a cynic about love. He hates dating and romance, in fact. He won't even flirt with girls. Will Hurley joke and chat with beautiful girls? No, he won't. He ignores them. He won't even flirt with them. Will he smile at them and try to get closer to them? No, he won't do that either. He won't flirt with girls at all. Will he try to just sound intelligent and smart when he talks to a girl? Will he ask her a lot of questions? Will he ask her for her phone number? No, he won't do any of those things. He will not flirt with girls. Will Hurley flirt with boys? No, Hurley's not gay, so he also does not flirt with boys. He doesn't flirt with girls, and he doesn't flirt with boys. So, does he have a cell phone? Well, no, he doesn't have a cell phone. He doesn't care about dating. He thinks, I don't need a cell phone. I just have a phone at my home. A cell phone's unnecessary. I don't want to flirt with girls, and so I don't need a cell phone. Hurley's sister, however, is overwrought. Why is she overwrought? Well, she's overwrought worrying about him. Is Hurley's sister very calm? No, she's not calm. She's upset. She's the opposite. She's very upset and worried about Hurley. Is she very nervous about him? Yes, she is. She's very nervous and worried about him. She's overwrought. Is Hurley's sister overwrought about their mother? No, she's not overwrought about their mother. She's not worried and upset about their mother. Is she overwrought about her children? No, she's not overwrought and worried about her children. Who is she overwrought about? Well, she's overwrought, she's worried and nervous about Hurley. Why is she overwrought about Hurley? Well, she's overwrought because he never dates. She's worried. She thinks he's going to be lonely. She wants him to have a girlfriend. And she says to him, Hurley, just try. You might meet a beautiful girl and fall in love. Hurley says, You are a lunatic. I'll never fall in love. Does Hurley insult his sister? Well, yeah, he does. A lunatic, that's not nice to say. He's saying she is crazy. He says, You are a lunatic. You are crazy. I will never fall in love. Does Hurley think his sister's idea is crazy? Well, yes, he does. He thinks she's a lunatic. Why does he think she's a lunatic? Well, she said, You might fall in love. And he thinks that idea is crazy. So he says, You are a lunatic. Does Hurley think his brother is a lunatic, a crazy person? No, he doesn't think his brother is a lunatic. He thinks his sister is a lunatic. He thinks his sister is crazy. But Hurley's sister says, I predict you will fall in love. Does she guess he will fall in love in the future? Yeah, that's right. She predicts, she guesses about the future that he will fall in love. I predict you will fall in love. Then she gives Hurley a cell phone, a mobile phone, and says, Here, Hurley, this is for you. It will come in handy for dating. Will the phone come in handy for his job? Well, maybe it might come in handy for his job, but his sister says it will come in handy for dating. Will the phone be useful for dating? Yes, that's right. It will be useful. It will be good for dating. It will be helpful for dating. It will come in handy for dating. What will come in handy for dating? Well, the cell phone. The cell phone will come in handy for dating. Will the cell phone come in handy for vacations? Well, I don't know, but no, probably not. It won't come in handy for vacations. It will come in handy for dating. That's why she gave it to him. It will be useful. It will be helpful. It will come in handy for dating. Okay, Hurley takes the phone, but he's still a cynic. And the next day, Hurley goes to a coffee shop. However, on that day, he sees a beautiful, busty blonde woman. Is this beautiful woman very small? Does she have small breasts? Sorry, but that's what it means. Does she have small breasts? Well, no, the opposite. She has large breasts. She is a busty blonde woman. Does she look like a movie star with very large breasts? Yes, that's right, she does. She has very large breasts. She's a busty blonde woman. She is a busty woman. It means she has large breasts, a large chest. She's a very busty woman. Is she a beautiful, busty brunette woman? No, she's not a beautiful, busty brunette woman. She is a busty blonde woman. She has blonde hair. She is a busty blonde woman. And she sees Hurley also. She walks over to Hurley and says, "You are so cute. Can I have your phone number?" Hurley is shocked, but he gives her his cell phone number. The next night, they go on a date, and they both fall in love. After the date, Hurley's sister calls him, and she says, "So, Hurley, what's the dirt?" Does his sister want to know the details, the personal details about the date? Yes, that's right. She wants to know the dirt, the gossip, the details about his life, the secret details. Does she want to know if he fell in love, what she was wearing, what they talked about, what they ate? Yeah, that's right. She wants to know all of that. She wants all the dirt, all the personal information, all the gossip. She wants all the gossip about Hurley's date. She wants the dirt. Does she want the dirt about Hurley's job? No. She doesn't care. That's boring. She doesn't care about Hurley's job. She wants the dirt on his date. She wants the dirt on this blonde woman. She wants the gossip, the personal details about this woman, about their date. Does Hurley give her the dirt? Does he give her the gossip, the information? Yes, he does give her the dirt. He says, "Well, you called it." So does Hurley admit, does he realize, yes, my sister guessed what would happen? That's right. He says, "You called it. You predicted it. You guessed what would happen." Did his sister call the fact that he would fall in love? That's right. She called it. She predicted he would fall in love. She guessed he would fall in love. She called it. Right? She knew. So she called it. What did she call? Well, she called the fact that he would fall in love. She called it. She predicted it. So he says, "Yes, you called it. I fell in love and I'm happy. In fact, it's just what the doctor ordered." Is Hurley happy now? Well, yes, he is. Does he think it's good that he fell in love? Well, exactly. He said it's just what the doctor ordered. It's exactly what he needed. Does Hurley think he needed to fall in love? That it was a good thing? That's right, exactly right. He felt it was necessary. He realizes he needed to fall in love. It was just what the doctor ordered. Did Hurley get exactly what he needed? Yes, he did. He got just what the doctor ordered. Falling in love was just what the doctor ordered. It was exactly what he needed. All right, good job. Let's go up to the top one more time. This time I will pause. I will stop after important phrases, after important sentences. Please repeat the phrases after me. Don't just repeat. Copy my pronunciation. Copy my pauses. Copy my rhythm. Copy my intonation. Copy everything. Try to say it exactly like me. All right, up to the top. There is a cynic named Hurley. Good. There is a cynic named Hurley. He does not believe in love. He hates dating and romance. He won't even flirt with girls. Good. He won't even flirt with girls. Good. He won't get a cell phone. Hurley's sister is overwrought. Good. Hurley's sister is overwrought. She's overwrought worrying about him. She says, Hurley, just try. You might meet a beautiful girl and fall in love. Hurley says, you are a lunatic. Good. Hurley says, you are a lunatic. Good. I'll never fall in love. Hurley's sister says, I predict you will fall in love. Then she gives Hurley a cell phone and says, this is for you. It will come in handy for dating. Okay, good. It will come in handy for dating. Okay, very good. The next day, Hurley goes to a coffee shop. He sees a beautiful, busty, blonde woman. He sees a beautiful, busty, blonde woman. Good. She sees him too. She walks over to him and says, you are so cute. Can I have your phone number? Hurley is shocked, but he gives her his cell phone number. The next night, they go on a date, and they fall in love. Hurley's sister calls him after the date, and she asks, so, what's the dirt? Good. So, what's the dirt? Okay, very good. Hurley says, well, you called it. Good. Hurley says, well, you called it. Good. I fell in love and I'm happy. It's just what the doctor ordered. Okay, good. It's just what the doctor ordered. Okay, fantastic. The last step, please pause this now or stop it and tell all of the story yourself, everything. You don't need to remember every word, but try to use the new phrases and new vocabulary. Okay, so stop and try to tell all of the story. When you can do that easily, go to the next lesson, the point of view lesson. See you next time. Bye-bye. Okay, welcome to the point of view mini story for the Hitch 3 lesson. Let's tell the same story again. This time, we'll begin the story with the phrase, 5 years ago. 5 years ago, there was a cynic named Hurley. He didn't believe in love. He hated dating and romance. He wouldn't even flirt with girls or get a cell phone. Hurley's sister was overwrought, worrying about him. She said, Hurley, just try. You might meet a beautiful girl and fall in love. Hurley said, you are a lunatic. I'll never fall in love. Hurley's sister said, "I predict you will fall in love." Then she gave Hurley a cell phone and said, "This is for you. It will come in handy for dating." The next day, Hurley went to a coffee shop. He saw a beautiful, busty blonde woman. She saw him too. She walked over to him and said, "You are so cute. Can I have your phone number?" Hurley was shocked, but he gave her his cell phone number. The next night, they went on a date and fell in love. Hurley's sister called him after the date and asked, "So, what's the dirt?" Hurley said, "Well, you called it. I fell in love and I'm happy. It's just what the doctor ordered." All right, let's tell the next story. Let's imagine that Hurley was not always a cynic. Maybe in the past he was a realist. Maybe in the past he was an optimist. Maybe in the past he was a romantic. But his heart was broken last year. Last year his heart was broken. His girlfriend broke up with him, his ex-girlfriend. So, since last year, he has been a cynic. He has not believed in love. He has not dated, and he has not believed in romance since last year. Since last year, he won't even flirt with girls. And he has not had a cell phone. He has not gotten a cell phone. During this time, Hurley's sister has been overwrought worrying about him. She said, "Hurley, just try. You might meet a beautiful girl and fall in love." In fact, during this time, all the time, she has said, "Hurley, just try. You might meet a beautiful girl and fall in love." Every time, Hurley has said, "You're a lunatic. I'll never fall in love." And every time during this year, Hurley's sister has said, "I predict you will fall in love." One time she gave him a cell phone and said, "This is for you. It will come in handy for dating." The next day, after she gave him the cell phone, Hurley went to a coffee shop. He saw a beautiful, busty blonde woman. She saw him too. She walked over to him and she said, "You are so cute. Can I have your phone number?" Hurley was shocked, but he gave her his cell phone number. The next night, they went on a date and fell in love. Hurley's sister called him after the date and asked, "So, what's the dirt?" Hurley said, "Well, you called it. I fell in love and I'm happy. It's just what the doctor ordered." Okay, you can hear in that one, in the beginning, when I talk about something that started last year and continued until now, that has continued happening, then I'm saying, has been a cynic, right? Has been overwrought. Hurley has said, meaning not just one time, but many times during the last year. And then we talk about a specific incident, a specific experience, a specific event, and at that time we switch back to the normal past tense because it only happened one time and it's totally finished. All right, let's do the future. Now with the future, it's a little strange. We don't usually tell stories in the future, to be honest. We make some predictions about the future. We might talk about the weather or something. But telling a story like this, totally in the future, in fact, is not very natural. It's a little strange. It's not something we normally do. So that's why many times when you hear the point of view stories, I will naturally switch back to the present or sometimes even to the past, depending on the situation. Because that's a more normal way to tell a story in English. And I do this, I don't even think about it. I try to tell it all in the future, but then I will naturally change back to another verb tense, just because, again, you don't usually tell a whole story like this in the future. You might begin it with the future, but then you probably would sometime switch back to the present tense for most of it. So I'm going to do it a little more naturally this time. I'm not going to think. I'm just going to tell it how I normally would tell it, how I naturally would tell it to a native speaker. Here we go. I'm imagining that next year there will be this guy named Hurley, and he will be a cynic. He won't believe in love. He will hate dating and romance. In fact, he won't even flirt with girls, and he won't get a cell phone. His sister is going to be overwrought worrying about him. She's going to say, Hurley, just try. You might meet a beautiful girl and fall in love. When she says that, Hurley will say, you're a lunatic. I'll never fall in love. And Hurley's sister will say, I predict you will fall in love. Then she will give Hurley a cell phone and say, this is for you. It will come in handy for dating. The next day, Hurley will go to a coffee shop. He'll see a beautiful, busty blonde woman. She'll see him too. She'll walk over to him and say, you are so cute. Can I have your phone number? Of course, Hurley will be shocked, but he'll give her his phone number. The next night, they'll go on a date, and they'll fall in love. Hurley's sister will call him after the date and will ask, so, what's the dirt? Hurley will say, well, you called it. I fell in love, and I'm happy. It's just what the doctor ordered. Okay, well, actually, I did tell it all in the future, pretty much, except for the quotes. But the rest of it I told in the future, a little more naturally this time than some of the other stories. What I would like you to do now is go back, listen to each version of the story again. Listen many times. Just listen. Just learn to naturally hear the difference with the time changes. After that, listen to one version, then pause. Tell that version yourself. Begin the story with 5 years ago, then tell all of the story. Then listen to the next version. Pause. Begin the story with since last year, and tell the whole story again, using that time period. And then finally, tell the story one more time. Listen to the last version, then stop and tell it yourself. Start with next year. There will be a cynic named Hurley. Okay, if you keep doing this with every lesson, you will naturally begin to internalize, to remember these common verb tenses, these common time frames that we use in English every day in conversation. Just relax. Don't try to memorize any kind of difficult grammar rules. Don't worry about the grammar names. Just practice doing these stories again and again and again and again, many, many, many times, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Believe me, I promise you will get better. Okay, I'll see you next time. Next up, after you finish this, go to the commentary. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, welcome to the commentary for the Hitch 3 lesson. First, I'd like to describe this scene for you in the movie, in case you have not seen it yet. In this scene, there is a woman. In the beginning, she's walking on the street in New York City, and she's talking on a cell phone, and she's talking to her friend at the office. She's describing what she saw on her vacation. She was supposed to be on a vacation, but on her vacation, she saw a famous guy, a famous rich Swedish guy, a guy from the country of Sweden. And this guy has a famous rich girlfriend named Allegra Cole in the movie. Well, anyway, this guy was cheating on his girlfriend. And she saw it on the island in Barbados where she was on vacation. And she got pictures. So, what is this woman's job? This woman is a gossip columnist. We call her job gossip columnist. Column, as we heard in vocabulary, means article. So she writes a gossip column. She writes a gossip article. But it's kind of a regular article. Maybe every day, maybe every week, she writes about celebrity gossip, famous people's gossip, their dirt, right? So she got some dirt while she was on vacation. She's supposed to be on vacation, but when she's on the beach, she saw this famous guy. He was with another woman, not his girlfriend. So this character in the movie, Sarah, she took some pictures. She got pictures of the famous guy cheating on his girlfriend. So she got dirt on this guy. She got gossip. So as she's back in New York City now, she's walking on the street, talking to her coworker, her friend at the office, telling him, "Oh, this is amazing! I got this great picture of him cheating." And in the beginning, she's saying, "I called it." She means, "I knew, I predicted, I guessed they would break up after 6 months." And then she asked her friend, "How long has it been?" He says, 5.5 months, so very close to 6 months. So she's saying, "See, I called it. I predicted it. I knew it. I guessed they would only stay together for 6 months." So that's what she's saying. She's saying, "I called it. I told you. I knew it." And then she goes into her office, and her friend is this gay guy who is in the office, who she was just talking to on the phone. He says hi. He's joking. He says, bitter party of one, pretending he's a restaurant staff person working at a restaurant. And then they kind of joke with each other. And then as they're talking, her boss comes and sees her. And her boss is not happy, actually, because she is supposed to be on vacation. She works too much. Her boss wants her to take a break. So he's kind of criticizing her, joking, not really serious, but he's kind of joking, saying, "You're a workaholic. You're overwrought. You're nervous. You work too much." And he's telling everybody, this woman has a problem. She works too much. But then Sarah, this woman, the reporter, the gossip columnist, she says, "I got pictures of this guy with another woman." And then the boss he's like, "Wow, amazing." He's like, "You're going to get a big raise. I'm going to pay you more money." And then they go into his office, and they're talking a little more. And he says, "I'm amazed. You can find dirt in a snowstorm. It means you can find gossip anywhere." And she's kind of laughing, haha. And then she asks him, "Will you pay for my hotel, pay for my vacation, since I was working?" And he kind of laughs and says, "No, forget it. I'm not paying for your vacation. Finish your article and get out. Go home." So that's the general scene. That's the general situation of what's happening when you listen to the audio from Hitch. And this is the other main character in the movie. We have two big characters in the movie. Hitch is Will Smith, who we've heard before in the other scenes. And then this woman, whose name is Sarah. And later we'll get some other smaller characters as well. But these are the two main characters in the movie. And Sarah is kind of a cynic. Sarah is a cynic about dating. She does not trust men. She thinks all men are liars. They all lie. And they just want to screw any woman they can get. Remember, screw means have sex with, right? So she's kind of insulting men in this scene a little bit. And she's not romantic at all. Hitch, our other character, Will Smith's character, he is romantic. In fact, he's very, very, very romantic. He believes in true love, and he helps men find their true loves and get them. He's the date doctor. He helps them to do better with women. Okay, so now we've set up the situation. We've prepared the situation for the movie. We have two people, the very romantic guy, Will Smith, who helps guys with dating. And then we have Sarah, who's a cynic and a gossip columnist. All right, good. And in this scene, there's a few things I should also explain. She mentions Sebi. She says, "I got pictures of Sebi with a busty blonde." Sebi is the name of the rich Swedish guy. It's just a name. She also mentions Allegra Cole. Allegra Cole is the most fabulous woman in New York. Allegra Cole is another minor character. She's a very rich, beautiful woman. She was the girlfriend of Sebi. Sebi and Allegra Cole were together, and then Sebi was cheating, and our main character, Sarah, got pictures of them. So, I hope that explains all of this. Okay, good. So that's the setup. I just want you to kind of understand what you're seeing. In terms of learning language, let's kind of talk about that for a minute. Again, I think it helps a lot to see the movie. Maybe even just one time is enough. But you need the pictures in your head. You need the images. That helps you remember the vocabulary, helps you remember the slang, helps you remember the phrases, because then you connect these words, you connect the language to pictures. That is powerful. That is why I like using movies. Because when you study from a book only, or you're only listening to your iPod, I mean, it's good, it's okay, but you don't have the same connections to the language. With a movie, you connect the language to pictures, to images, to situations, to a story you can see. That is powerful. That will help your memory a lot, especially if you watch the movie several times, many times. And also listen to these lessons and scenes from Effortless English on your iPod. So you listen when you're out, you listen when you're going to the store, you listen when you're on the bus, you listen when you're in a coffee shop. Then you go home, maybe once a week or twice a week, you watch the movie. Or maybe you only watch the scene for each lesson. You watch the scene 2, 3, 4, 5 times each day. It only takes a couple minutes. That will help you so much if you have the pictures. The pictures will help you remember. Especially, it will help you remember how to use the language. What situation should you use the language? What situation should you use the vocabulary and these phrases? It's better, I think, than only reading an article and listening to an article. The pictures will help you. But you've got to listen to these lessons many times. You have to listen 1 hour every day. You have to watch the movie more than one time. And hopefully, many times, many days. That's how you can use these movie lessons, and you can use the movie to learn quickly and effortlessly. Okay, that is all for today's commentary. Please follow my advice and listen many, many times to each lesson. Listen to each scene from the movie several times. Do it over many days, not a lot during one day, but a little bit, but over many days, for many days. Okay, if you do that, at the end of this movie, you will know all the English in Hitch. You will know it. You will understand it instantly, quickly. You will remember it, and you will be able to use it yourself very quickly. That takes time. That takes repetition, but you can do it. Okay, good luck. If you have questions about the movie scenes or about the language, please write your question in the forums